Okay. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here. Very sorry for maybe being shy because I'm kind of an outsider here. I'm just kind of a part-time football researcher. I'm not an expert in this area field. I have a background in economics. I'm working at a enterprise promotion agency for here in Budapest, and I'm a part-time football journalist. I have more than a decade experience in football journalism. I have a newsletter at 24.hu. This is one of the biggest news outlets, online news outlets here in Hungary, and I am more a data enthusiast than a data scientist. So I'm just a beginner in this field. And this is what I will present you. It's much more an idea than a very sophisticated kind of area of expertise. So let's see. So I think, and I have a strong belief that a fundamental question in football is not whether a player is good, but in what context they are or a player is good. If someone thrives in one league, in one level, in one tactical system, one intensity level, will that success transfer into a better league, into another tactical context, and so on? So was his or her success just context bound? And I think this is the dilemma that clubs face every transfer window. And the ability to answer that is not just analysis. I strongly believe that this is football intelligence. And in the postmodern era of data abundance, context is the new scarcity. We don't need more metrics. Sorry to say that, but we don't need more metrics. We need smarter models, and we need models that enhance better decisions on a club executive level. So why the focus on pressing? Because pressing is the tactical heartbeat of the modern game, as I see. It defines the tempo, it defines the structure, it defines the opportunity of transitions. The evolution of man-to-man schemes in the Bundesliga, the hybrid traps in the Premier League, or the zonal vertical blocks in La Liga reshaped how we think about space, how we think about time, and how these are exist in possession in the modern game. And because pressing is ubiquitous, the press resistance has become football's most valuable midfield commodity. These are the players who buy your team, the time to dissolve the pressure, keep the transitions alive. And when everyone is looking for them, these kind of players, their market value spikes. And this leads us to the scouting dilemma. I think the issue is that we or the analysts or the coaches or the whole community treat press resistance as stable trait. But what if it's not? What if it's just highly dependent on the pressing environment? That's the essence of the scouting risk of that question, I think. And just ask, or just some kind of examples. Manuel Ugarte, dominant in the French leagues, maybe a little bit slower tempo, now struggling at Manchester United under a relentless Premier League pressure. And the other side of the coin, Ryan Gravenberch, standout in Eredivisie in Holland, then lacked something in the Bundesliga at Bayern Munich, and now fixed a lot of structural issues at Liverpool. He's half turns and so on. So he's essential for the success of Liverpool this season. I think these aren't talent issues. I think they are transitional failures or transitional successes. And my idea or my model proposes a way to measure and manage that. How can we figure out who will be a fit and who will be a misfit? So this is the name of my model, Context Aware Press Resistance Score, CAPRS. It's a very it's not the greatest name, I admit that. This is a three-layered evaluation model, and it combines even data, so how a player performs under pressure, passes, carries under pressure, miscontrols per 90s, dispossessed per 90s, and so on. The second layer is contextual environment modeling. What kind of pressure the player faces, the league's intensity, the team's PPDA, the schemes of the opponent use against them. And the third layer is tracking-based spatial difficulty. So how constrain the player when they act against him or her, the defender proximity, the angle of the pressure, the body orientation of the player. So these are the three layers, and each of these three layers produces a normalized subscore in my idea, and these are then weighted and aggregated into a final score between 0 and 100. So what is the stat engine behind all of that? This model is weighted aggregation of the three subscores. Here you can see the model itself, and let's see the layers. The first layer is even data. This is a z-score, normalized evaluation, raw even stats. X is the player stat. For example, successful passes under pressure. Mu is the league or the team mean, and the sigma is the standard deviation of the metric in the league. And my interpretation of that is that this tells us how many standard deviations above or below a player is from the norm. So it means some kind of context. The second layer is the difficulty of the league and the tactical environment. You can see the regression coefficient, so you can see PPDA, you can see the high turnover rate, and I decided to use a dummy-coded league team pressing typology. Is this a man marking? Is this a hybrid scheme? Is this a zone system or something else? And the third layer, this is the most difficult, this is the most interesting maybe. This is a spatial difficulty score from two elements. A is pressure difficulty score. It measures the opposition density, it measures the pressure angle and the body openness of a player when it comes to the pressure, the challenge of the pressure. And B, part B, is the execution quality score. The action success, the escape quality, and the time to decision. So how fast, how quick the reaction to the pressure from the player. My interpretation here is that this captures how hard the situation was. This is the pressure difficulty score, and how good the player's action was in context. Yeah, you can see the elaboration of that. So high E indicates a technically sound and a decision efficient response, because if it's an easy situation or an easier situation, somehow in the model you need to penalize when a player always the solution is easy in the context, so you have to penalize somehow this, and this was my idea. Maybe it's not the most sophisticated you have ever heard, but this is mine. So and this is the most important part of my project, of my idea. So why it matters. In my opinion, this CARPS, so it's not just a model, it's a decision tool. For scouts, it helps to contextualize the player data across leagues. For analysts, it provides some kind of residual adjusted performance estimate. So overperforming or underperforming in the context of the league, in the context of the tier, in the context of the pressing schemes of the environment of the player. For a club executive perspective, it reduces the transfer risk by aligning the data with the tactical reality. And in my strong belief, or I think so, that with this model, club executives can be more efficient when it comes to evaluate transfer risk, come to evaluate a player and how press resistant is the player. So where I need you, or where I need you guys, your area of expertise, this model, maybe it's not a model, maybe it's not a very sophisticated kind of model, but maybe it is ready to scale. I just need more data, because I'm just a journalist. I don't have access to Optovision. I don't have access to Skill Corner. I don't have access to tracking data and spatial things. it is just a theoretical framework, and I'm very eager to hear your validation, your opinion, and your questions maybe. So I think this is a very important topic. This is a very important question when it comes to reducing the transfer risk and it comes to evaluate player. And this is what football is about. When you see a player and you see he or her, she or is good, but is he or she good enough to be competitive on another level? This is the main question when it comes to scouting, in my opinion. So, some closing remarks. In football, the difference between seeing numbers and seeing the game is everything. Models like this won't replace scouting, but they can power it, in my opinion, because the ultimate question, will it translate to another league? Will it translate to a higher level? Needs maybe better answers. So this is my presentation. This was my presentation. Thank you for your attention. And I'm ready to hear your questions and remarks, and I will try to answer them if I can.
Thank you. Very, very nice, Kele. I think I'll just go through the panel and ask for questions. I will start with Pega because I can see she's got her microphone on.
Yeah, thank you, Kele. It was a very nice presentation. I think you're János, not Kele.
Yes. János is my.
János.
Oh, sorry, János. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, very nice presentation. Is it okay if I ask a question now?
Yes, now this is your time.
So first of all, I wanted to say I definitely know that you didn't have access to the good data and different stuff. The first question is that do you consider the pressure and pressing as the same thing, or you could differentiate between your model? Because these days clubs are trying to separate. The pressing is kind of like chain of the pressure actions, something like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Maybe it can be put it into this model. Maybe it needs some remodeling. Yes, it's a question of perspective, and I've heard about some clubs are using the Voronoi cells or something like that in the spatial awareness. Yeah, it's an interesting question. I will think about it. Yeah, and yeah.
Okay, and another question. I was thinking actually your modeling approach is very. I'm got interested kind of. Either in different layers, you are calling it layers, or
Yes.
or either in the features of your regression. Do you think it would be possible, for example, to add some kind of like different pressing types, such as pressing styles, such as, for example, first of all, to check if they are like high press or low press or mid field, and then, for example, if they are high press, are they like Jigen style pressing or counter press, these kind of things? Is it possible to either to go to the layers or the attributes of your regression?
Yeah, it's a very good point, I think, because these are different situations. I've been thinking about the pressing schemes to differentiate between the man-to-man pressing scheme, a zonal pressing scheme, a hybrid pressing scheme, but maybe it is more efficient if we differentiate between these contexts. Yeah, I will think about it. Yeah, it's a very good idea.
So basically, my question was that do you see the like possibility to be added to the layers, or?
Yeah, I've used a dummy variable for the pressing schemes, and I'm.
Oh, you already used that?
Yes, but this for the pressing schemes, and I'm thinking about whether it can be used these kind of pressing situations, a counter press, low press, high press, just like a dummy variable as well. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Very good. Okay, we'll go over to fellow Hungarian David.
Yeah, thank you. I really liked it. I would like to join to Pega because I also had similar question. So as I understood, this model is only for players who play against pressing.
Yes, especially midfielders, in my.
Yeah, so this would be my two questions. So it's a very specific model for midfielders who play against some kind of pressing.
Yes.
Okay.
In my head, it's yeah.
Okay, I don't have other question, just to understand, because I was thinking like it could be remodeled for wingers or center backs, for example. I think it wouldn't be a big difference, but I would feel that it's somewhere it would be a little bit how to say, not accurate or not very practical, because defenders face different kind of pressure than midfielders. And also you were talking about the opposition style, how they press, but you were not talking about how we would like to play. So, for example, if my team is building up through the fullbacks, it's necessarily my midfielders will get different kind of pressure, because, for example, I play to the fullback, he plays a flat pass to the midfielder, then that's one kind of situation, and maybe that kind of situation I would like to create. So that's, for me, that's kind of a even bigger question compared to the low block, middle block, or high block of the opponent, because my intention makes it much my intention is more influential compared to the opponent reaction.
Yeah, you're definitely right. My main idea was to evaluate the midfielders, so that was my main idea. That where it comes to the thinking, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like midfielders are the most important part now in football. Like if you think about Caicedo or Rice transfers, it can mean millions of difference if you think about this. So yeah, I agree that it can be the most important position now. But yeah, and oh, sorry, one more thing. So as I understood, you want to make a layer of what kind of pressing the opponent's using.
Yeah, in the second layer, I put the press profile as a dummy coded variable. If you can see the slide here. So yeah, it is a second layer for the tactical environment or the league environment, and somehow I think we need to measure it. So because it's very different.
So we don't. So my question would be like, we don't have the data for this yet, as I understood.
Yeah, it's kind of it's not a data question maybe, because it's not hard data. It comes to the scouting department. So you have to somehow clusterize the teams. They are pressing man-to-man, they are pressing hybrid, they are pressing zonal system. So yeah, it's a dummy coded variable. It is a constraint. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no, I understood. It's just a very good question, because for me, this is the key, how we can attach it to the actual club work, because maybe the recruitment will ask the analyst, let's say, okay, let's watch this team. We would like to sign their midfielder. Please tell us how they play or what kind of teams they play against. And there is a drop-down menu like man marking, hybrid, etc., and then it gives a different value.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not a big constraint. Just to understand, maybe you have a model in your pocket for this, and that would be very nice.
Not yet.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. Quick question from Rodrigo, and then we'll move on.
Sure. Maybe so. I'll skip the question. I'll go to the comment. Maybe
yes, comments is what we need here. Yes.
Nice. So maybe two things to suggest. Not to suggest. One to suggest and one to complement, because your presentation is really nice. This is one thing that I emphasize every time I have the chance to. Communicating your ideas is really a key point, and I think you nailed it. Your presentation is really beautiful, and you pretty much showed everything that you had in mind. So congratulations for that. I mean, that's really nice, and I can see you spend some time, you dedicate some time to make it clean and beautiful, and that's really cool. My suggestion actually would be my idea would try to at least have a smell on your model that I can't right now because you didn't put the data into it. And my suggestion would be going step by step. And even if you need to generate some data, try to test some synthetic data, that is something that you might want to do. Well, one example is the StatsBomb free data. You can just plug in and try and test some layers of your model. This is something we are doing here right now. We are, for example, this is I can mention that, that's not a problem. We're exploring easy paths that were not completed for any reasons, and then we're trying to test what happens if a player misses one easy pass, if he misses two easy passes, if his team does a lot of passes and he misses one, if his team does a few passes and he misses one as well. So the idea would be like testing scenarios and try to differentiate these, even if they're synthetic, but testing these different scenarios and compare them. Then you can have a smell on what you're suggesting. This is something that I would suggest for at least some layers on your module can at least show what we could expect from the model.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. Thank you, János. I was also very impressed with this, and I hope we can find someone who will implement these and do it on the data as well. I think that would be really interesting within the community if there's somebody who's interested and can contact you afterwards.